Good afternoon, Professor.
Hi, Professor.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Oh, all right. That is, you see, that is a interruption coming. Hold on a second. Hello. Good afternoon. Oh, do you want
my
your switch is right under your bag, but
My regular switch?
wait.
Where's my
Oh, that I
regular
don't know, dude. I'm teaching. Presumably it's plugged in upstairs in mom's.
Hello?
I-
In mom?
Sorry. Hello. Sorry. That will happen again. Okay. Oh, hello. Okay. Sorry that for those of you who don't know, you'll meet him soon. Hold on. I'm saying hello. Wait, and there's other people coming. I'll start again in a moment. So pleased that you guys beat me to the hellos. It's like, you see, it's like a whole semester of work paid off. All right. So wait a minute. So hello. Good afternoon. Okay. Hello. Hi. Oh, this is awesome. Okay. Our work here is done. We're done. No, I'll say, okay. So first of all, I'm Professor Yaverbaum. This is Physics 204. Obviously, some of you know me, some of you do not. We'll get to all that in a moment. I'm totally saying hello. I'd like to, I'm a big believer in hellos, as you might be gathering. So I'm going to do this one a couple ways. Good afternoon. Awesome. See, okay. So first of all, hello, Caroline. Hello, Amanda. Hello, Kevin. Hello, Savannah. Hello, Caitlin. Hello, Amy. Hello, Elizabeth. Hello, Rashman. Hello, Evan. Hello, Adan. Hello, Douglas. Hello, Irini, I think. And you're going to, well, anyway, hello, Erica. Hello, Mackenzie. Hello, iPhone 4. Hello, Jose. Hello, Lizzie. Wait, did I just say Lizzie? Did I mean Lizzie? Or Elizabeth? Wait, I think it's Lizzie. Because I know, okay, well, yeah, and now that was that was visual. But to those of you who said hello to the chat, I'm going to do that now. Good afternoon, Caitlin. Good afternoon, Kevin. Good afternoon, Amanda. Good afternoon, Amy. Good afternoon, Douglas. Good afternoon, Adan. Good afternoon, Evan. Good afternoon, iPhone, so to speak. Hello, Jose. Hi, Lizzie. It is Lizzie, right? I'm so embarrassed that I'd be getting that wrong after somebody's. Well, you're going to tell me. I see that. Okay. Hello, Mackenzie. Good afternoon, Mackenzie. Good afternoon, Erica. Hello, Irini, I think. Tell me in private chat if I'm doing that wrong. Sorry to call attention to it. Good afternoon, Rashman. Oh, right. Okay. So I'm not crazy. Okay. Cool. Got you. Okay. Cool. Now, and more people are coming. Hold on. Obviously, some of you I know, and some of you I'm about to get to know. I totally get that. We're going to discuss that. If I am, and I'm Yaverbaum, and that is the way it's pronounced by me anyway. If I'm mispronouncing your name, I totally apologize. Please tell me either publicly or privately in chat the right way to say your name. We're going to get to that moment. I do appreciate the hellos very much. And we'll talk more about that in a minute. Hold on. Hopefully you can see the board. Yes, you can see the board. Okay. And the board just disappeared. Yep, that I knew it was going to happen. All right, I have a new technology. This board thing that keeps happening, that was happening last semester. I spoke to Professor Other Walters for help with this. I think I have a solution, but I haven't implemented it yet. So this is going to keep happening during this class. Sorry, hold on. We're not going to use the board that much this class anyway, but hang on. Okay. We are going to do things today. Mostly this is a welcome day. First of all, I'm very glad you're all here because I do understand. I did send out an email about this, about the Zoom link and everything, but I do understand that some of you didn't get it. I first meant that nobody got it. Clearly, some people, I don't know why some people did and some people didn't. I sent it through Blackboard. So it went to whatever John J email address you have there. And maybe that has something to do with it, whatever. I'm glad you're all here right now. And I'm glad that thank you for those of you who texted me and communicated with others about this. I appreciate that. Today's going to be a little funky because a lot of things I say today will be old news to people who have had me before. And I apologize in advance for that. I'm thrilled to see the people that I already know. Believe me. I love doing 204. I love I hate my board. Sorry, I don't hate. There ain't no time for hate. There's barely time to wait. I strongly dislike my board right now. I love teaching physics 204 for a variety of reasons. As much as I love teaching physics 203, and I love teaching physics 204 even more. That's just a true fact. And partly it is the fun of having people who have had some physics before, whether they had it with me or not. Partly my goal today is to welcome in the people that I don't know and get them comfortable, get you guys comfortable with my systems or my routines. So some of what I say may be a little redundant to people that already know me. And I apologize for that. Part of my message today to everybody is that for the most part, whatever routines you got used to in physics 203, especially if you had me, you can comfortably assume that the routines and the systems and the expectations will be very similar, if not identical. The material is obviously different. We're going to get into that today. What's the difference in the material? Hang on one second. There's now a dog. Okay, not sure how that happened. But if you took 203 with me, and if you did okay, which I think is true for just about anybody who's sitting here now, then great. Then you can take some comfort in the assumption that whatever you did to get through 203 will probably work here. The material is different. The material is harder. I mean, it is, but you're ready for it now. And the expectations and the way of managing the material will be the same. Now, those of you, I want to get to know those of you who did not have me last semester. I want to start by welcoming all of you who had Professor Walters, who is a near and dear and longtime friend of mine. If you had Professor Walter, in fact, can you just, if you don't mind, show an electronic hand or some kind of electronic notification if you had Professor Walters last semester for physics 203? Can I just see? There's awesome. And keep them up for a second, please. Awesome. Welcome, Mackenzie. Welcome, Erica. Welcome, Evan. Awesome. Anybody else? Is that it? Wait. Okay. And that's my next question. Thank you. Okay. And welcome, Stephen. Awesome. Wait, keep them up for a second. My next question was going to be the one that Douglas just answered, which I totally appreciate in chat. And thank you for going public with that. So Douglas, welcome. So Douglas took physics somewhere else. That was my next question. Okay, yeah, you could put, is there anybody, wait, SJU. Oh, Stephen? No, what's SJU? Wait. Oh, wow. Wait, why am I not registering what SJU is? Wait, SJU. Can you tell me what? Oh, St. John's. Oh, of course. Oh, in York. Okay. So some of you, so welcome Rashman and welcome Douglas. You guys came from York and St. John's. Cool. I'm very familiar with those institutions. I'm very glad you're here. Is there anybody, and others of you could put your hand. Does that cover everybody? Is there anybody else? And you don't have to go public if you don't want. You could send me a private chat right now. But if you have not met me before, okay. Okay. Oh, a lot of, okay. So a lot of, okay. It's great to see you all here. Wow, some really good institutions too. And so some of you took this a while ago with one of them. And can I just ask, hold on a second. 1 second, hold on. So there's some things happening in direct chat. I'm a big believer in the direct chat. I love it, actually. So bear with me for a second. Okay, I think that's most people have answered. Okay, so I'm just looking around. So I think I've heard from most of you now. If you haven't said anything, if I don't know you, if I didn't meet you last semester, and you haven't already said that you either had Professor Walters or if you hadn't said anything, could you put in a direct chat like where you're coming from, just so I know, if you don't mind, or public chat, but Wow, look at some of these. Okay. Okay, and the two. Oh God. Wait, what? Wait, you. Wait, I don't even know why Savannah's saying that. Wait, I'm looking at what Savannah's responding to. It's hilarious. Okay, but we do have a very diverse. Okay. Okay. Bestie. I don't even. Okay. Okay. So look, thank you. I think. So. Right. No, I know who you. No, and again, of course. No. Hello. Yes. Yes. No, and it is. Believe me, it is a thrill. I'm so. I mean, every time I'm about to lose hope and stop doing this, then I see people that I saw last. It's a thrill to see people that I saw last semester. Believe me, it's a thrill that you're still standing, and it's a thrill that you are going to help familiarize the people that are new to this. Obviously, nobody's new to physics. Of course, everybody has taken some kind of course in physics before. Okay. My God. Right. No, I know. Okay. Okay. And also, side note, I assume you're all in the same lab. I assume you're all in the same lab. And can I ask, who do you all have for lab? Or do you know? Or if I named it?
Yes.
Okay, Melendez, that sounds right. I mean, that's certainly Melendez. Okay. And you don't know, you didn't have him last semester, so that's new. Okay. He's been doing it for a little while now, so that's good. He knows this is not his first time around the rodeo, so that's good. I definitely suggest, I think you guys did this last semester. I do very much encourage or suggest that those of you that you set up some kind of Discord or WhatsApp or whatever. I can never say that right. Or like something so that you can have a group chat and you can help each other. Okay, I want to get to know the new people. I would very much like oh my God, wow, that's awesome. Thank you. Direct chat person, got it. You too. By the time we get to starting the material today, we will start the material today. We won't do much with it, but we'll start it. And I'll tell you what the expectations are and stuff. My goal by the end of today to all of you is to explain exactly why there needs to be 2 physics courses in the first place. Like, what do we do in this class that's different from the other class? There is an answer to that. And there's an answer to why the math does get a little bit more abstract in this class than it did in the other one. I mean, again, some of you are coming from different places. Maybe the math was very abstract there. I don't know. But the kind of math that accompanies this material can be a little bit more demanding or challenging than the kind of math that accompanies the first semester. And we're going to get to that, and we're going to get to the homework and all that kind of thing. But the first thing I want to say to everybody, even if some of you have heard this before, is the first thing is I want to make it clear, especially if you're coming from another institution like Penn State or like St. John's, I want to make it clear that there's many different ways to run a physics class. There's many different ways to run a class. And many different philosophies. And most professors' philosophies are not what they say, it's just what they do, right? Like I could say I believe in blah, 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 blah. But what it is that I really believe in is however I actually treat you guys, despite what I might think about that, right? So I'm going to tell you for like a sentence or two, partly what I think my philosophy is about doing this, but I'm going to encourage that you all in private, at some point when this class is over or during lab or something in your own hours, I would really encourage the people who have had me before to take aside the people who have not and tell them what they think the real deal is. Like, tell them what you really think you can get away with this in this class and what you can't, or what you can trust that I say and what you can't, because only you know, if you know what I mean. What I'm hoping is that the people that are here from last semester hopefully learn some version of the following. But again, I just hope. I don't know what the reality is. You'll tell each other what the reality is, and hopefully you'll help one another. But first and foremost, I believe that physics is already hard, and I believe that life is already hard, and I believe the universe is complicated without our help, And I believe that physics and getting through school and getting through COVID and getting through the 21st century in America is hard and challenging without us needing to help that along. So whereas some professors I had when I was a student actively believed that part of their job was to try and figure out ways to challenge me, to make me stronger, and some parents I've had and some grandparents I've had believed that their job was to construct well-designed challenges for me to make me stronger and better equipped to deal with life. I believe that's a perfectly reasonable philosophy. I believe it's also a perfectly reasonable philosophy that some professors I had and some relatives I had, like, tried to design ways that I could compete with my fellow classmates and learn better how to compete and learn how to accept losses as well as wins and stuff like that. Those are all fine philosophies that I don't even want to pretend to make fun of or disparage, but they are not my philosophy. My philosophy at this point is that life is already hard, that universe is already complex, and physics is already surprisingly challenging in ways that even I don't always remember. So I believe it's my job to help you lessen that challenge. It's my job to try to find ways to make physics more accessible and make the universe more simplified and make life more manageable as best as I can with you guys, for the simple reason that even if I try to be on your team and try to make things easier and more manageable and more exciting and more fun, I'm still going to fail. And there's still going to be ways in which I make many of your lives difficult, even by accident. And there's going to be ways in which I'm disorganized or irresponsible or forgetful or non-relatable that are going to make, and there's ways that physics is just hard no matter what I say. So I believe that there's going to be hard things. And I believe that there are certain students that will not get a great grade in this class, no matter what we all try to do to pull them up and to pull them through. Therefore, I'm saying, just to be clear to the people that don't know me yet, what I believe is that there's no limit to how many A's or B pluses or A minuses or B's that I can give out as long as they're earned. In my world, if all of you earn an A or a B plus and love physics in the process, then that's a win for everybody. In my philosophy, there's not a limited number of good grades to be handed out. And therefore, in my philosophy, you should not be competing with one another in this class. None of you should think that in order for you to get an A, somebody else has to get an F or a B or something like that. And none of you should think that if someone else is trying to get an A, that it's going to come at your expense. I believe I would much prefer you all helping one another and me helping you try to get as many A's as we can. I believe that works better for everybody. And I believe there will be a lot of A's or B pluses or whatever, or good grades. I believe that if we all help each other and don't view each other as competitors, but view each other as colleagues, I believe that we'll all do better in the end. And I believe that many people who are sitting here right now in this class, I believe that a lot of them got grades at the end of last semester that might have been better than they expected, or might have even been better than what their straight up exam average seemed to demonstrate or seemed to indicate as they were going through, I believe. I hope. But I don't believe they got grades that were better than what they deserved. I believe everybody who's sitting here right now, hopefully got a pretty good, I think most people got pretty good grades last semester, or certainly passing grades, otherwise they wouldn't be here. And I don't think they got anything better than what they deserved. I think they did earn them, or you did earn them. But it's possible that some people in the room right now got a grade that was better than what their first exam might have led them to believe they were going to get, or something like that. That's what I believe. Now, I could be kidding myself. There could be people in the room right now that actually thought the whole thing was an unfair trick, or that there was negative surprises or something didn't go right. And I'm hoping that the people sitting in the room now who had me before will privately at some point talk to the new people and tell them how the grading really works, tell them what they really feel, because only they know. And they can also tell me privately if they have a complaint. And I'm serious about that. But I think, what I think is that if we actually help each other, and we actually trust that we're in this to make life better, not worse, I believe that a lot of people can get good grades. And I believe that they will get grades that are better than what their exam scores may indicate, because some of the exams are hard. And there's many more ways to get points than just on the exam. We're going to talk about that today, again, for the benefit of the new people. Whoa, oh, wow. Oh, wait, so there's really cool things happening in direct chat. There's really interesting things. Wow. Hold on a second. Oh my God. Okay. There's some intense things happening in the chat right now. Okay, and good to see you all. Okay, wait. And there's some really honest things happening in the direct chat right now. Okay, and by the way, and this is also my philosophy of the direct chat to people that don't know me. I love the direct chat. I mean, sometimes I get overwhelmed. Sometimes I can't keep up. But the thing about the direct chat is I think it's a great tool and I respect it. And I mean, sometimes I'll try to encourage you guys to go more public with certain things, but sorry, okay. With the direct chat, I absolutely, if you have anything that you want to say that you're not comfortable going public with, I do encourage you to use it. And here's how to be super clear, I do follow it, I do read it, I do take it seriously, the direct chat. And the way I respect it is, if you put something in the direct chat, I will not share your name with the rest of the group. Like I won't say who said so. Sometimes if people say things in the direct chat that I think is useful for everybody, I will sometimes refer to the content. If there's a question in direct chat that someone's like embarrassed to ask, but is useful, I may address the question in public, but I won't say your name, whoever you are, because I think that's like the whole point of it. And things are happening in the direct chat right now. So I want to address some of these. If I do have goals for today's class, I do have some logistical goals. I want to make sure we're all up to speed with the work, with what work is going to be assigned for next week and stuff like that. There are things I have to get to, but first and foremost, I want to get everybody comfortable here. And it is good to see you. So I think the message that I'm trying to give right now, is if you had me before, either hopefully you trust that I'm on your side, or that I'm trying to be on your side and I'm trying to help you succeed, and I'm trying to not have it be a competition between you and me or you and your colleague. I want, if you've had me before, if you think that that is true, I want you to privately encourage and welcome and help the new people believe that. If you don't believe that's true, if you believe that you got a grade that you did not like, or you don't feel you deserve, or something did, or the rug was pulled out from under your feet at the end of last semester, then I do want you to find a way. Then you got to communicate that either to me also, if you think there's still something that can be done about it, or if you don't feel comfortable communicating it to me, then communicate that to the new people too. But in other words, I want you guys to help each other get comfortable and know how to navigate this class. We all know that there's learning material, but there's also learning how to work with a professor behind the material, right? And so some of you have had a semester leg up on that already. So please help each other. That's my number one message. Number two, let me put this in the public chat right now. Hold on a second. All right, what I'm putting in the chat right now is the various ways to reach me or get help from me or give a complaint to me or etc. So number one, where I live on Tuesdays in the middle of the day is in the new building 046105. 046105. It's a funny room, whatever. That's where I am. You don't have to have an appointment, but it certainly would help. That's where I am physically on Tuesdays. Now I'm off. So that's number one, but number two, strangely, and again, I'm very good about certain things. I'm very bad about other things. And I'm probably don't even diagnose correctly which those things are. I think I'm actually pretty good about email these days. That is the email to use. There, I do have a different email address that's used for Google Classroom and all that. We'll talk about that for a second. That's the email I use to get all your work and return all your work, blah, blah. But if you want to directly reach me with a question, I will, it's much more easy for me to see and respond to the email address that I just put in. But then also, as some people know, okay. I am a texter, for good or for bad. Partly I'm a texter because I'm not in the building as much as I should be these days since COVID. I'm a little bit harder to reach physically in person. So do feel free to text me. Just identify yourself the first time you do. I have text etiquette. I mean, we could talk about it, but I don't consider it an invasion, especially if it's something that can be answered quickly and simply and will put your mind at ease. Feel free to text. A lot of people in this room have done it many times, and I appreciate it. So those are ways to reach me. And then we also, through any of those ways, we can always set up a Zoom appointment or a phone appointment if like my office hours don't work for you. That's okay. That's number one. But I like to think I'm fairly responsive about texts and emails. I believe. But again, ask people that have had me before what the real truth on that is, and only they know. Okay, that's that. How the class, okay. And again, just I'm going to keep going here, trying to introduce everybody to the material in the class. But keep. Oh, right. I was going to say keep these things coming in the direct chat. I didn't respond. Okay, one thing that's in the direct chat, one thing that a couple of people are mentioning in the direct chat, some of you, let me make this very clear too. Some of you might not have had a good experience in physics last semester, either with me or at another place or with Professor Walters, or let's be clear, some of you might be here trying to take Physics 2 for the second time. Let me make super clear that you're very welcome here. Very welcome. This is a do-over for many of us. I'm a big believer in second chances, to put it mildly. And again, even if you think you didn't do well with me last semester, if you think there's still room for discussion over that, if you think something was unfair, I do want to know. Or if you just think you disappointed yourself, but you're worried that now I have some impression of you, let's clear the air, like send me a text or whatever. I believe this is supposed to be a do-over for anybody who needs it, a fresh start for anybody who needs it, including me. If I pissed off some of you last semester, or if you, let's do a do-over right now. And I'm dead serious. If you had an experience in Physics 2 somewhere else, or with me years ago, let's both do a do-over right now. Like, really. Let me make it clear also. I love physics. I love teaching physics. I've been teaching physics for 30 years. I have a couple of degrees in physics. Physics and teaching physics is my passion. But make no mistake, did I always get A's in all classes? Heck no. Did I ever have to redo a class? Yes, I did. Like, have I had to do things a second or a third time in order to get them right? Yes, I did. What's the single biggest reason that I understand any of the physics that I do sort of understand? The fact that I get to talk about the same physics over and over again every single day, semester, for 30 years. If I understand anything, it's because I've gotten so many redos and so many retakes and so many opportunities to make mistakes in public in front of people as smart as you. That's why I know physics now, because I get to do it over and over and over again. Nobody actually gets this crap the first time. And if they think they do, they don't get how much they don't get. So if you are here in any way for the second time, or in any way for a redo, or in any way you've been scarred, or I've scarred you, or something, your first experience, let's literally take a do-over and a fresh start. And that's how I view it. So oftentimes I have names on my roster, people that I know. are here for the second time, maybe even with me for the second time, to me, the first thing I think is what courage, what perseverance, what humanity for them to try again. Like that's the first thing I think. And then we go from there. And hopefully you would think that about me too. So let's like leave all baggage at the door if we have any, or if that's too difficult, share the baggage with me. If you've had a bad experience with physics somewhere else or something, text me and let me know that you're still angry at me for something or whatever. And let's like try to, I'm dead serious about this, whatever. And again, if you don't know me, talk to people that know me, and I hopefully they'll hopefully say something like, yeah, he's not actually going to make it good. He's not actually going to solve the problem, but he does mean it in his heart or something. I don't know what they'll say, but okay. There's also some things in the chat. Okay, there's okay. Like some people are already putting things in the chat, explaining things. Cool. I mean, I appreciate what some people are already explaining about last semester. I don't think any of you owes me any explanation about anything last semester. Maybe I owe you explanations, but no, I mean, I appreciate them. But yes, this is a fresh start for everybody, really. But no, I see what I'm getting some things in languages that I do know, but I might not be, I have to work. It's taking me a little time to decipher some of these things, but that's a challenge I want to accept. I should be able. There's some complicated things in it anyway. But I do appreciate them, and I appreciate a challenge. Oh, I got it. Okay. Anyway. Okay. Yeah. Oh. But in Hebrew. Wow. Okay. Sorry. I'm back. Okay, we're going to start getting to nuts and bolts, but keep these. I'm hearing things in the direct chat, both from people that I know and from people that I don't, and it's really helpful. This is a class for everybody. Like at any given, we all take turns being crazy is how it works. If you know what I mean. Or at some moment, you might feel like I'm talking to you directly, and then at some moment I might be talking to somebody else, but you never know when. So let's just all hang together. I'm going to. Wow, that's impressive. Okay, I'm going to but keep the stuff coming in the chat to keep me on track. What I want to do now, I'm going to start getting logistical now. There are, how many people in the room? 1, 2, 3, there's 5, 10, 15, 21 people in the room, 20. Oh, wait, something in the direct chat. Oh, okay. The thing that direct chat, totally appreciate. Got you, direct chat person. I hear you. No, okay, I'm going to say one other quick thing. I'm going to talk about the grading system and all that. And again, I don't want to bore the people that are already here, but that might happen. What I'm promising is that I want you all to do well, and that I'm not going to try to construct ways for you not to. It doesn't mean that everybody's going to do well. Let's just make that clear. I'm not saying that everybody guaranteed gets an A. It means that or a B plus or whatever. It means that I think there's more than one way to get an A or a B plus in this class. That I do believe, and we'll talk about that. I do believe that it's possible to get an A in this class, even if you're not a great exam taker. That I believe, or at least that's what I'm trying to have it. I believe it's possible to do well in this class, even if you haven't done well in similar classes. That I believe. I believe there's more. I believe that some people will get an A for one reason and another person will get an A for a different reason. I believe that. I also believe that every semester some people don't do well. And quite honestly, and usually those are people that have some life circumstance or something going on, so they just could not meet the requirements of the class. I do believe that if you can really meet the requirements of the class, you should do fairly well. I do believe that, and that I'll help you along while we're going. But I don't want to kid anybody. Every semester, there are some people that don't meet the requirements of the class or don't do as well as they wanted. And that's why that's a mixed message. But I'm not telling you in advance you're automatically guaranteed an A. I'm not saying that to anybody. I am saying, though, that a lot of people will get A's. And if they get them, they did earn them and they do deserve them. And it's not a gift. It's it's an enlightened arrangement, where we recognize more than just test taking skills, or the reverse. In some cases, we recognize that as long as you have test taking skills, then there's other things you don't have to do, and that's fine too. If you do get a good grade in this class, you earned it and you deserve it, and it's not a gift. But there will be enough people that won't get good grades, usually because they just can't meet the requirements, and hopefully they know that that's happening while that's happening. That there's usually enough of those every semester that it means that we can continue on with this system that we have that's designed to not put you in competition with one another. So I do want to say that to be clear. I'm not guaranteeing anybody a good grade. I'm guaranteeing that everybody has more of a shot at one than sometimes they do, I think. And that in that you should feel like your neighbor is on your side and that I'm on your side and that we're trying to get you to get a good grade. That anyway, I'm overstating that, but you can keep the questions coming for sure. I think there's 20 people in the room right now. Here's what I want to check. I want to get logistical now. It's 3:40. I want to look at the Google Classroom situation, because that is something we definitely use here. I know you used it with Professor Walters if you had her, but if you went to another school, you probably didn't use it. So let's see what's going on here. Bear with me for 1 minute. Okay, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Wow. So 19 people have already signed up for Google Class. Thank you. All of you who've already joined Google Classroom, and which is 19. That's awesome. That's a great, and thank you for checking your email and all of that. That's terrific. Okay, I'm going to say this now. Please don't take this as embarrassment. I'm going to say, I totally have Caitlin, I have Jose, I have Lizzie, I have Amy, I have Evan, I have Dave, I have Stephen, I have Kristen, I have Amanda, I have Kevin, I have Douglas, I have Estrella, I have Mackenzie, I have Rashman, I have Katya, I have Caroline, I have Erica, I have Adan, I have Savannah. That's wonderful. I'm not looking at who I don't have. This is my general philosophy. I'm just thanking you. If I just said your name, that means you're in. That's good. We're on the same page. If I didn't say your name, I'm not looking at your face right now at all. I don't know who, but if I didn't say your name, and I think maybe there's like 1 or 2 of you, maybe send me a direct chat right now to let me know if I can help. I would like everybody to be signed up and joined the Google Classroom thing before this class is over. I'm going to put right now in the chat what the link is. Yeah, so I think there's like maybe 1 or 2 of you that haven't done this yet. I think I could even be wrong. It could be all, but go to that link that I just put in the chat and join this class with an email address of that has your full name in it somehow. Even if you've never used Google Classroom before, we're going to find that out today, or we're going to work through that right now. But Google Classroom is the management system for all materials for this class. Like from here on in, all you'll find on Blackboard is a link to the Google Classroom. Like it's all about Google Classroom from now on. Homework, postings, announcements, exams, we'll talk about that. You will find also, if you've never had me before, what's going to happen. Usually I have a whiteboard where I'm taking notes while we do Zoom class, and everything I put in the whiteboard will be a PDF that will be uploaded. Even today, when all there is a cover sheet to it, just a picture that says welcome, I'm going to upload that at the end just so that you see how class notes get uploaded every day. Also, every class does get recorded and will get uploaded to YouTube when we're done, like at night. So you can always go back and play the old classes. Oh, okay, great. Thank you for direct chat. Great. No problem. Take your time. Okay. I would like it if you did not sign into Google Classroom, could you just send me a direct chat right now and just let me know if either you need help or you're about to do it or whatever. But everything is in Google Classroom from now on, including the uploads of the YouTube recordings of these classes, including the PDFs of the class notes, etc. And homework and exams. I feel like there is one. I know I'm boring. I know I'm totally boring people. Okay, hold on. 20. So there is one person. I don't want to single anybody out, but there's one person who hasn't. Okay. All right. what we're going to do right now, all of us, again, if you didn't sign up for Google Classroom, please just either let me know right now or do it right now, because we're about to start using it right now. The first thing we're going to do, I'm going to show you. I love it. Two people over. All right. What again? Okay. What's on the screen right now is old news to some of you. New news to some of you. What's on the screen right now is, you'll find it in Google Classroom. And if you need help with Google Classroom, I mean, I think it's easier to use than Blackboard personally. That's why I use it. But if you've joined it, but you're nervous about using it, hopefully today's class will show you, but direct chat me or text me if you have an issue. But if you go to Google Classroom, to your Google Classroom now that you've joined the class, and you go to classwork, it's one of the menus on top. I should have walked you through. Okay, here, I'll do this. Okay, here you are, you're in here's the class, right? So you go to class, I mean, yours looks a little bit different because this is the teacher side, but you go to classwork, and for those of you who've never used this, you could totally download. I think the phone app is very good. I think it's certainly better than the Blackboard app. Like you could do this on your phone, whatever, but if you go to classwork, and you'll see, so you see a lot of stuff here on my side that you don't see on yours because this is all, hasn't been uploaded yet. But if you'll see the Zoom link, you'll see the YouTube classes as they get posted. You'll see class notes as they get posted, but then you'll see homework. Okay, there's homework sub-0 and then there's homework 1. You will see under homework, you already have one, you have a couple of assignments that are already due. You have this, and tell me if you're not seeing this on your screen. You have this thing that says game turn 1. Okay, now again, I know this is old news to some people, although it turns out that even if you had me before, I know there are some people that had me before, but never quite understood this whole system and never quite took advantage of it. And maybe this is a good opportunity to find out that it's worth taking advantage of. Here is the deal, and this is also welcome to my grading system. We have a game. The game is class participation. It's not a game, it's real. But why do I call it a game? I call it a game because a lot of the points system and the scoring systems and the methods of playing this game are kind of borrowed from are kind of similar to certain video games, such as Animal Crossing, if you're familiar with that. But I also call it a game because it's totally optional. You don't have to do this at all, but it's a way of getting a lot of points in the class that will help your grade a lot. I also call it a game because it's meant to be a little bit more fun or a little bit less torturous than some other aspects of classes can be. So here's the deal, again, at the risk of boring the people that already know. Every time we have a class, it's a turn in the game. Today is class 1, so today is turn 1. But a turn means just this, what it says on the board, that by midnight tonight, I want you to submit like one sentence that you can jot down on a piece of paper, or you could type directly into a Google Doc. On the student side of this, when you're doing an assignment, it allows you to create it. It has a plus sign for create a new document, like create a new Google Doc or you can directly into the assignment. You can just open up a new Google Doc or whatever. And what this is asking you to do is just type one sentence that reminds me of one way that you participated in today's class. Could be that you asked a question in public chat about physics. Could be that you answered something in direct chat about life. It could be that something very complicated where you screen shared a whole bit of physics assignment that you did. I mean, it could be very elaborate, or it might be so simple. It might be one sentence where you type, I said hello in the chat at the beginning of class. It could be that simple. but just any way that you participated in today's class at all, you're going to open up a doc and just type a sentence reminding me of that. If you want to send a screenshot too, that's great, but it's not about proof. It's about just reminding me. It's about a moment of self-reflection where you think about one moment that you participated in the class. You just type that out, you submit it to this portal, and as long as you submit it by midnight tonight, you'll get 5 points for doing that. I'll explain where the points are going in a moment. If you do it after midnight, like tomorrow or something, you get 4 points instead of 5. If you wait a few weeks, then it's not worth it after that, because we do this every single class. Okay. Now the points add up, and I'm going to explain how the points add up in a minute. If you don't do it at all, you just get no points. There's no punishment, but so you could think of them as extra credit points if you want. I'll explain where they go in a minute. What I'm going to say right now, though, is to everybody, especially so that we can get this Google Classroom thing going, so we can all get to know each other. You will, oh, and I see there's something in the chat. I'll get it in 1 second. I'm sorry. You might have noticed that 2 people in the class already submitted this today. That's great. That's totally because 2 people in the class already have said something or put something in the chat, or they showed video of themselves. All of that counts. What I'm going to say is to any and all of you that have already even just said hello in the chat, do this right now, please, so that we can get the system going. We can see how it works. I might even have time to give you the points right now. I want you to see that this is in every class. If you just take a moment to reflect on where you were in the class today, assuming you were there at all, it's an easy way to get 5 points, and it helps our communication and our continuity. There's more to this than this, but I'm going to say right now, if you said hello at all or did anything, please submit it right now. Can you right now just say hello in the chat for the sake of this? Yes, you can. So if there's any way that you feel you're participating, or if you're showing video or anything, just type that in right now, and let's get these, and hopefully I'll give you the points right now. I have more to say about it, but let's start with that. Also, I see there's something in the chat. So let me look in the chat. Hang on. Another great question in the direct chat. Oh my God, great question. So yes, I meant to say, from here on in, we meet at this Zoom link at this time twice a week, Monday and Wednesday. From here on in, yes, it says in your schedule that one of those days is lecture and the other is recitation. It says that. That's a registrar thing. In physics at John Jay, there's no distinction between lecture and recitation. It's sad but true. I don't know whether you'll ultimately feel that all these feel like lectures or whether you'll feel that they all feel like recitations, but both Wednesdays and Mondays are at this Zoom channel with me. There's no difference between the two, even though yes, it does say that there's a difference in your schedule, but there is no difference. And in fact, that's such an important question, especially for people that are coming from other institutions. I would like it if the person who just asked me, well, in fact, can I just say, if that's clear to you, can you put up an electronic thumbs up or something? If it's clear to you that you will be meeting here twice a week, awesome, thank you, and I'm looking to see that. Awesome, thank you. And particularly the people that have not had me before, okay, great, the person who asked the question, okay, great. Okay, so yeah, from now on, it's all here. It's all this Zoom. Great. I mean, lab is different. Lab is in the lab room, and that's with Professor Melendez, and we'll talk about that too. But yes, okay, great question. Please keep those questions coming. As you can see, I'm very non-linear. I want to answer all of this, but the best way is to, so keep those questions coming. But yes, okay, that's good. Now, this game turn, I'm going to add to it, and I'm going to even look like, well, let's see. Well, I don't want to show it on the. I'm going to stop the screen share so I can start seeing what's happening. Hopefully you guys are turning it in right now, and if you do, and you get the point, yep, you are. That's great. 6. Okay. And I'm going to, usually I'll put a quick comment on it, or check, like with handwriting, I'll say like check or thank you, or that's great. But right now, just so we can keep this going, I'm not even going to comment on them. I'm just going to give you points on them right now and return them just so we can all see how the system works. Okay. So you'll know we're in community. I'll know that you know that we know that Google Classroom is working for both of us. If you get these 5 points before this class is over. Okay, awesome. Sorry. And I would like everybody to do that by the end of this class. And if it forces you to say hello in the chat right now, in order to get these points, please do it. And it could be private, it's fine. hold on. Now, while I'm doing this, while I'm responding to these, let me explain how these points work, especially to people that don't know. Here, and again, forgive me, I'm not putting comments on them now. I'm just giving you points just so we can all have that satisfaction. But I am reading them, and they are hilarious. Or not, they're not hilarious, but they're nice. How do the points work? It works like this. This is the grading system for those of you. Thank you. This is the grading system. It is technically in the syllabus, but it takes a minute to learn, a lifetime to master. Again, you could privately ask the people who had me before, like whether this all actually did work out for them the way they thought. Some people don't even really believe it or get it until the moment they see their grade in 203. But here's the grading system. You will take 2 exams in this class, a midterm exam and a final exam. They will actually be take-home, untimed, open book exams. We'll talk about that when the time comes, and you will get practice exams for both of them. We will hope that we were going to try to set you up to do well on them. That's a whole other discussion, but you will take 2 exams in this class. They will be take-home, offline. So they're almost more like projects, you could say, but you'll have 2 exams in this class, a midterm and a final. You'll submit them both through Google Classroom, which is part of the reason we're practicing that right now to make sure we know how to do that. You'll have 2 exams, and then plus you'll have a whole bunch of work in lab that you do with Professor Melendez, a whole bunch of work that will all add up and tally up and will eventually get you one final grade in lab by the end. Those 3 grades, the 2 exam grades and the final grade in lab. Oh, and let me back up for a second and say 2. The 2 grades in exams sometimes are challenging grades. I mean, sometimes people don't get amazing grades, at least not on the first exam. And those grades are not dropped. I mean, we don't have enough exams to drop a grade. They're not dropped. They're not usually curved either. Sometimes there's extra credit put in or something like that. And sometimes I will make an arrangement where I weight more heavily the exam that you did better on. I will do that sometimes, but I can't drop an exam because we don't have enough of them. And I don't usually curve them. I usually like you to see what you actually did. But anyway, you'll have 3 exam grades, like 2 exams and 1 lab grade. Those 3 will be averaged together at the end of the semester to make one base average, a base average. Then, and I hope everybody's paying attention to this because I can't even see right now because I'm looking at the Google. Okay. So you have but this is just like 203 for those of you. So and I think Professor Walters largely did it like this too, largely. You have a base average at the end of the semester. But then every bit of points that you ever get on any of these participation game turns or other participation portals that I'll explain in a minute, or any of the regular homework portals, which we're going to start today, which I'll explain as well. Any points that you ever get on any homework, participation turns, all of that stuff, first of all, is technically optional, technically. Like, if you don't do homework, you don't get punished. You don't get a 0 in the book. You just get nothing, okay? So if you're the kind of person that's going to get a 95 on both exams and a 95 in the lab, I'll tell you right now, and you don't do anything else. If you legitimately got 95 on both the exams without cheating, we'll talk about that too. But if you legitimately get 95 on both the exams and you're 95 in the lab and you don't do anything else, if they're legitimate and non-cheating scores, you'll have an A in the class, and that's the end of that discussion. That's a certain type of person. That wasn't me but that's, some people are that. But then, let's say you're not that person who's, okay, then all the points that you ever get for all the homeworks that you do and resubmit and all the homework, the participation points that you submit for, they all just pile up. They accumulate into a pile of points that you'll have at the end of the semester. With homework, you can be late, you can resubmit for a better grade, all that kind of stuff. We'll talk about that, but you're just everything you submit for homework is basically a rough draft until you get it where you want to get it, and then that number sticks. All the points that you get on homework and all this participation stuff, all these game turns, accumulate into a pile. At the end of the semester, I determine a scaling factor for that pile. I divide your pile by some number. say the number 20. I don't know what the number is till the end of the semester because I have to see all the grades, but whatever the number is the same for all students. So say at the end of the semester, the scaling factor is a 20. That means that at the end of the semester, if you have accumulated 200 total points of homework and participation and all of that, at the end of the semester, if you have a pile of 200, whereas your neighbor has a pile of 170 and your other neighbor has a pile of 230, whatever, if you have 200 points and the scaling factor at the end of the semester is the number 20, then that means I divide your 200 by 20, and that equals 10. And that means I will take 10 points and add it to your exam average. So now, I'll add 10 points to your exam average, 10 real points. And that's almost now your final average, except that even there's one more stage, which is this, that with all of you, I can choose to either give you 0 or 1 extra point of class participation just for being a good citizen. If you're basically a responsible citizen, even if you never talk, even if you're a quiet person, but you made clear always to send homework and to tell me when you weren't going to be in class or blah, 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 blah. If you were just basically a good citizen who showed investment in the class, I can give you 1 extra point for citizenship, if you want to call it that. And I'll explain what that's about in a second. And that becomes your final grade, your exam average plus whatever scaled down points you have accumulated for homework and participation, plus a potential 1 extra point for being a good citizen. Now, let me, again, at the risk of boring people who have already heard this, let me make clear. The extra points that you get for participation in homework, I just gave an example where you would get like 10 extra points. That obviously the example would differ from student to student. It depends how much of that you do. But 10 is a realistic example. If you do all the homework and you do these participation things every day, you easily can end up with 8 or 10 or 12 or 14 extra points on your average. Someone who doesn't do any of that will end up with 0 extra points on their average. Someone who does a tiny bit will get like 4, but you can easily end up with in fact, that's how I choose the scaling factor. I choose the scaling factor so that most people end up with a big chunk added to their grade. So you can change, you can have a 77 test average, and or let's even say a 76. You can have a 76 test average. Then because you've done all this homework and stuff like that, you have an 86 at the end. And then if you were a good citizen, I add 1 extra point and you have an 87. So that means even though you had a 76 on your test average, you end up with a B+, for example. And that's a very realistic example. It happens all the time. And let me make very clear now, the purpose of this system is not, it means if you end up with a B+ in this class, you did earn it. You just earned it by doing a lot of student things together, not just your exams. It just means that all the stuff you were doing through the class counted. And the whole idea of the system is that someone who's really good at tests but not doing homework has a chance of getting an A, and someone who's really good at doing homework and caring and being a student but not so good at tests can also get an A. That's the point of the system. And the point of the 1 extra point that I can decide to give you, I'll tell you right now what the point of that is. The point of that 1 extra point is that when all is said and done, if you're right on the bubble, if you have literally like an 86.6 or something, and we all know an 87 is a B+, but an 86 is a B. If you have an 86.6, it drives me crazy that I'm supposed to, as a scientist or whatever, just look at you and go blink, blink and go, well, sorry, you missed it by 0.4 of a point. And since I've never made a mistake in my life, and since my system is perfect, I'm going to hold the line at significant digits and say that you have an 86.6. Sorry, you don't get a B+ and you don't get into graduate school or whatever. I'm saying like there's 1 point for benefit of the doubt. If you've been a remotely good citizen in this class, I give you an extra point for your citizenship so that we don't have this rounding issue that like suddenly changes your life in a dramatic way. Now, after all is said and done, if after you've done all the homework and all that, we've added those and I add the extra point, if you still have an 85, then that's a B. And then I think that's fair. And I think then there's not much to discuss at that point. But hopefully it's a lot better than the C- or whatever that you would have gotten if we just looked at exams. Anyway, that's how the system works. I'm going to look at the chat to see. Hopefully it's, again, okay, hopefully that's sort of clear. The one last thing to say about that system is every day in the class is a standard turn for 5 points. But there's other portals that will open up. You'll see very soon. Other portals will open up for other ways of participating. Not everybody participates by talking. Not everybody is as loud as I am. There's other ways to participate, such as just having the guts to show video, or such as, well, I'll give other examples in a moment, but other portals will open up for other ways of participating. Those portals are long-standing. Like they will all say something like due December 1st or something, not December, excuse me, like May 1st. Any portal like that that opens up under the participation heading means that anytime that you think it applies, you can just submit into that portal, and you can submit more than once. It means it's just sitting there for your option throughout the semester. So for example, there will be a portal that will open up that's called video. So anybody today that's showing video can submit into that for some extra points. And if they're showing video again tomorrow, they can submit again to the same portal tomorrow. And it doesn't mean that it's bad if you're not showing video. It just means that's just another extra boost that you get for doing, if you do that. And you're always welcome to triple dip. So last example, well, I think you get the point. But any portal that applies to any form of participation that you think you're doing, just submit a screenshot or whatever into that, and you'll get those points. So all those points add up and they add on to your average, and hopefully that's sort of clear. If it's not, I'll repeat that when necessary, but please let me know if it's not clear. I'm looking at the time now. So, okay, so I'm going to take a minute right now to look at to see who's done this in the Google Classroom. Give me a second. Bear with me for a minute. Oh, actually, you know what I'm going to ask you to do? I'm sorry. While I'm quickly getting these back right now to make sure we're on the same page, I'm going to ask you in your personal space right now, if you've already done this, if you've turned in a participation thing for today, open up homework assignment 1A called Unthingy Things. That in theory is due on Monday. There's also a 1B that's due Monday. We're going to talk about both as I know we only have 13, I think we only have 13 minutes. But please open 1A and start reading it now. We're going to try to knock that off now if we can. You can also start looking at 1B, but 1B is harder. You're going to need more time with that. I'm going to address that too. But 1A, you could start doing right now or start looking at it so that we can get that submitted as well. But okay, in the meantime, I'm going to try to get these back. Hang on one sec, bear with me but again, please, if you're right now, please open up assignment 1A, or let me know if in direct chat if you're having any difficulty with that, especially if it means you have not signed into Google Classroom yet, which would be slightly inconvenient. Okay. Now I think, here's what I think, that right now, if you did turn in game turn 1, if you turned it in, I think you've gotten it back. If you turned it in, I think you've just gotten 5 points. If you've not turned it in, no crisis, but you might, but please feel free and certainly do it by tonight, midnight. But if you turned it in and you have not gotten 5 points back, you should let me know. You should see the 5 points. Again, partly we're doing this right now just so that we can both see that we're using Google Classroom together properly, that it's working for us. But the same thing is about to happen with homework 1A. Oh, okay, there's more. Oh, no, more people have. I'm sorry, hold on. I see, great. I was a little worried there for a second, actually. And again, I apologize. Some of what you're writing is really sweet and nice or entertaining, and I'm not commenting on it now. I'm just trying to do this just so we can all make sure we're having a clean transaction. Okay, now I think. Okay, so again, I would urge you to just do game term 1 so we can make sure we're on the same page. But now, I know time is running out. So actually, I'm going to go out of order for a second. With these game turns, it's easy to just type in straight to open up a new Google Doc right there and just type in. With the real physics homework, which you'll notice is worth a lot more points, right? With like homework 1B is worth like 35 points or something like that. Now, technically it's due Monday. It is due Monday, but let me tell you a couple things about, and it's not easy, homework 1B, and it is long, okay? I'm going to tell you a couple of things about homework 1B. First of all, what I'm going to expect is your best attempt, your clearest, most thorough, show all work, neat, clear attempt. At homework 1B for Monday, I would like you to turn in something so I can give you some points and we can both show each other that we're not falling behind. I actually don't expect you to finish it. I expect almost none of you, unless you just happen to have a real background, you don't even have to try the very last question. I'm telling you right now, all of you, we're going to get an extension on homework 1B. It's going to take us a while to go over. It always does. We're going to take more days on it. So you're going to get more time to do more on it, to improve it, to upload it again and get more points. I'm telling you that right now. And so don't even try the very last question if you don't want for Monday. But I want to see how much you can do and can turn in for Monday. It's based on material that, depending on where you took physics, you would have had toward the end of your physics 1 class, possibly. But if you had Professor Walters, you probably got this material very quickly at the end. If you had me, you got it even more quickly and crazily at the end. There's no feeling in my mind that you're in total command of this material. I just want to see what you remember. It's not a diagnostic, and you can use the web and you can use your friends. I just want to see your best attempt at trying to answer these questions on homework 1B is what I'm talking about. So make your best attempt and know that you'll have more chance to improve it and resubmit it. That's not a problem, but hand in something for Monday on homework 1B is what I'm talking about, okay? Hold on, let me go back to the Zoom. It's about springs, and I'll explain why we're doing that, like when we get to it. I'm just looking at, okay, that's about homework 1B that I'm talking about. I also want to make clear, a homework like that, a regular physics homework like that, what I am expecting is that most of you, including me, still are more comfortable doing physics like pencil and paper or pen and paper. If you're comfortable doing physics or math by typing straight into a computer, have at it. That's great. You can open up a Google Doc and do that directly. But I don't expect most people to do that, and I certainly don't demand it. So what I'm expecting is that you do the homework out on a piece of paper or many pieces of paper, and then you scan those pieces of paper in, or you take pictures of them, whatever, and somehow or another, and I will give help to anybody who needs this, somehow or another, you compile all those images, all of those pages into one file, a Google Doc, or preferably a PDF. Whenever you do homework, please give me one file of all your scanned in work, and you upload it to Google Classroom. Again, some of you are more familiar with that than others. We'll talk about it. No one's going to be punished on Monday for any failure. We're here to find out what we can do. But at a certain point, that's the way you're going to submit exams. So we do want to make sure we've got it straight before the exams come. So homework 1B, you're going to try your best to show work, to answer all the questions. I have a 5-step problem-solving method that some people in this room know, but some people don't. I will share it with all of you on Monday. There's no time for it right now. If you remember it, great. But if you don't, but I'm saying to everybody, I do want you to show all work and show a process, and don't just put answers down. for 1B. That's for 1B. Okay. We still have 5 minutes. Just raise your hand if you're still with me, if you're still clear on what I'm saying, like electronic hand. Just cool. Awesome. Thank you. Okay, that's most people. Great. Thank you. And if you're not, okay, great. If I'm all over the place or if something's confusing, please put it in direct chat for real. I know we have 5 minutes, but we're gonna try to do homework 1A with you really fast now in 5 minutes. I'm going to tell you homework 1A, you'll get points for too. It's not formal. Homework 1B is more formal. It'll take us more time to really do right and to eventually get all the points. Homework 1A is an informal introduction to this class. So I'll tell you right now, in terms of the points, by Monday at best, all I'm looking for is for you to scroll out on a piece of paper or in a Google Doc, just 5. You're going to write down, if you're looking at 1A right now, I'll try to share the screen with 1A. Let's see if I can do this fast. There's 5 tasks that 1A asks you to do with 2 objects. It asks you to do 5 tasks and it tells you in advance. I'm talking about homework 1A. It tells you in advance that some of those tasks are possible and some are impossible. Really, all I need you to do to get the points for this homework is just somewhere tell me which of the 5 tasks are possible and which are impossible. I'm talking about this right here. Okay, so it won't be, that's all. There's other questions on the sheet, but the main thing is I'm just looking for you to tell me of these 5 tasks, which are possible and which are impossible. Okay, and I might even tell you those answers right now, but don't get overly, this is partly just so we can have a interchange. Don't take this overly seriously. Take 1B very seriously. Be casual about this one. I'm just watching the clock. I also want to make clear that generally speaking, when the class is over, you go, like, even if I'm still, you got to, sometimes I'll go like 1 sentence over. I'm like wrapping up really quickly. You got to go. Maybe say goodbye in the chat first to be polite, but go when you got to go. What I generally try to do is stay. I won't log off. I'll try to stay until the last person goes in case they have a question or something. I try to stay to answer any last minute questions or something for whoever's here. And that's what I will do. But one thing I have to warn you, this wasn't true last minute. I do have a Zoom class right after this at 4:30. So I can stay for like a minute or two just to maybe make an appointment with any of you who needs it or reassure you something simple. But I can't get into an involved discussion. I have to like turn off the Zoom, the Zoom and start another Zoom by 4:30, just so you know. So I won't leave until the last one of you leaves. But if you've got a burning thing, let's just use this time to make an appointment. The time right after class. Other than that, you got to go at 4:20. So we have 2 minutes as far as or now. Okay. With 2 minutes, let me see. Okay. Let me something in the chat. Hold on a second. Oh, okay. Thank you. Okay. With what you're looking at on the screen, hopefully you've had a chance to read it. I'm going to I'll get straight to the chase. Okay. It's asking you to do 5 different things. It's asking you, and I'll tell you right now, I think the answers, hopefully you're looking at it. I think the answers are, I have 1 minute. I think the answers are possible, impossible, possible, impossible. I think task number 3 and task number 5 are impossible, reasonably speaking. I think with normal things, you cannot have a normal thing at one point in space, at one point in time with another normal thing. And I think you cannot have a normal thing at 2 points in space at one point in time. I'll repeat that Monday, but of course you might be wondering, why the heck is he even saying that? Like, what does that have to do with anything? The bottom line that I will expand on Monday is that is true of what I would call thingy things, or what in physics we would call particles. Particles of physics cannot be in 2 spaces at one time and cannot be at the same one space at one time as other particles. Physics 203 was all about the motion through space and time of particles. Physics 204 is also all about motion through space and time, but the difference is that Physics 204 is about the motion through space and time of stuff that isn't particles. Physics 204 is about the motion through space and time of stuff that can be in two places at once or can be in the same place at the same time as other things. Physics 204 is about the motion of stuff like sound, electricity, waves, magnetism, gravitational field. That's what Physics 204 is about. It's about motion through space and time of entities that are more abstract than particles. That's why the math gets more abstract. Physics 204 is the same principles and practices as Physics 203, but it's different players. It's different characters. That makes it a little bit harder, but I think it ultimately makes it far more interesting. Welcome to Physics 204. That's all I have to say right now. I'm done if you're done. Hopefully it's clear. I will see you Monday at the same place. And you can hang out for a second if it's not clear, but other than that, I will see you. Have a good day. It's great to see you all.
Bye, Professor.
Bye, Professor. Thank you.
Bye. Great to see you. Thank you. Have a good day. Awesome. Great. Awesome. Yes, see you Monday. Awesome.